Welcome to your weekly dose of yoga inspiration, where every episode offers a unique path to help you deepen your practice and enrich your life. Whether you're a dedicated yoga student seeking a moment of calm in a hectic day, or a yoga teacher striving for balance and sustainability in your career, there's something here for you. Every month, our journey is going to unfold through 4 different episodes. Today, we have a 15-minute yoga class. These classes are perfect for busy professionals. They are super simple, audio-only practices that are designed to fit seamlessly into your day, bringing mindfulness and movement wherever you are. Let's dive in. Welcome to your 15-minute audio yoga class on Spotify. If you're new here, please listen to this intro. If you've been here before, you can skip ahead and start your practice. For new students, an audio-only class is a unique style of teaching that may seem harder at first and a bit more challenging to follow. It may take you some time to adjust to the language and to practice without having to look. We are all visual learners to some extent. Typically, I share short reels on Instagram to demonstrate what these shapes will look like so you can get a visual. I'll post the class list in the description as well. Before you hit play, you can take a quick peek. When the Instagram option is available, I'll link that in the show notes as well. I'm confident over time that you're going to fall in love with this style of practice. I have received countless testimonials over the last 10 years about how effective and powerful this method is for students. If you have any questions or concerns, or even a request for a specific style of practice, drop it in the comments or reach out to me directly through the contact page on my website, or you can send me a DM on Instagram, joffreyyoga.com or Joffrey Yoga on Instagram. I'm pretty easy to find. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. Let's begin your practice. Today's practice is called Deep Stretch Yin. These are 5 daily poses I practice, regardless of how much time I have, every single day. We're going to begin today standing. So if you're using a mat, come to the top of your mat. Starting in Tadasana, you're standing up, feet are hip width distance apart. Our first shape is a forward fold. Simply fold forward and bring your fingertips to your mat. If you're super, super tight, bend your knees and get your fingertips to your mat. If that feels 10 out of 10 uncomfortable, bring your elbows to your knees or to your thighs and just rest in like a half forward fold position, thinking about working down towards the ground over time. If that still feels uncomfortable, take your feet a little bit wider, like shoulder width distance. Once you're here, let your head go. Nod your head yes and no a few times. Wiggle your hips side to side a few times. We're going to hang out here for about a minute. That's kind of the rule of thumb for all the shapes today, is we're going to hold them for around a minute. Take a couple deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth to help your body settle. It can feel really nice to gently nod your head yes and no a few times. There's a gentle drawing in of your low belly that will give you space to fold a bit more. Take one more breath here, please. And then for our next shape, you're going to heel toe your feet a little bit wider. If they're not shoulder width distance already, take them to at least shoulder width distance. And then turn your toes out to about a 30-degree angle. Imagine your feet are pointing at 10 and 2. You're going to start to bend your knees and sit into a squat. You want to get your hips below your knees. So if you have to lift your heels to give yourself some more space to get deeper into your squat, then go for it. Your fingertips can rest on the ground for some support as well. And if your heels are lifted, I want you to imagine that your heels are slowly working their way down towards the mat over time. Doesn't have to happen today. If you have yoga blocks or a stool that can support your seat, you're welcome to sit on something as well. As long as your knees are above your hips, you are going to get the benefits of this shape. Hands can also come to heart center. You can soften your gaze down towards your mat or close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Focus on the sensation of the stretch. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, exhale. Gently bring your hands behind you, and as gracefully as you can, lower your seat to your mat. Naturally, you'll probably want to extend your legs forward and give them a little bit of a shake out. Release any tension in your knees and in your legs. Our next pose is going to be seated butterfly. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet together and draw your heels in as close as it feels comfortable for you. You want to feel a moderate level of a stretch in your inner thighs. You could hold on to your ankles or interlace your fingers over your toes. I'm going to ask you to gently press your elbows into your inner thighs to help deepen the stretch, and you can lean forward from your hips. If folding forward feels good, you can do that too. We got a minute here in your butterfly. The more you focus on breath, the more you focus on the physical sensation and stay present in your mind, the deeper the benefits, the more progress you'll see. And this is the beauty of yoga, the combination of physical and mental. Soften any tension in your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Soften your facial expression. Amazing. Take one more breath here, please. And then come to sit up straight. Keep your legs as they are. This next one can be a little bit tricky, so listen carefully. Bring your right hand down beside your right hip. You're going to lean over to your right hip and take your left foot behind you towards the back of your mat or the back of your room. We're going to set up for 90-90. So as you look down to your right leg, I want you to look from your right hip to your right knee and line that up in a straight line. Your right thigh bone is going to be parallel to the outside of your mat. Your right shin bone, knee to ankle, is going to be parallel to the top of your mat. From here, you're going to fold forward over your right leg. Think of the outside of your right knee pressed down against your mat, and your torso is resting on your thigh bone. As your elbows come to the mat, you could place your forehead on two stacked fists, or maybe your forehead comes all the way to the ground. You should be feeling a sensation here in your right hip, maybe even in your low back, depending on how stiff you are, and perhaps even in your left hip flexor. Your left knee could move closer or further away from your right foot, but relatively looking for 90-degree angles in both of your knee joints. Take a couple deep breaths here. We're going to hang out for about another 30 seconds. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Right? Come on up to seated and simply switch sides. The best counter stretch to 90-90 is to just do the other side. Settle into the pose. Notice any differences from your left side to your right side. Chances are that one side will definitely feel a bit tighter than the other. Relax your shoulders, facial expression. Settle in here for about another 30 seconds. Yeah, deep breath in, deep breath out. You're going to come up to seated, bring both legs out in front of you, and then lie down on your back, please. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a hug. You can rock a little bit side to side here. Should feel pretty good for your low back. And then keeping your knees in towards your chest, release your hands out wide into a T shape. If you don't have a lot of room, you can bend at your elbows. And you're going to let your knees fall over to your left. As your knees come all the way down to your left, try to keep your right shoulder anchored down. You might like to place a block or a cushion in between your thighs. That can soften your hips and your shoulders and bring a bit more ease into this shape. If you are experienced in your practice and you have another variation of a twist you'd like to take, you're more than welcome to do so. Your eyes will settle up towards the ceiling or in the opposite direction of your knees, whichever is more comfortable for your neck. If it feels comfortable to do so, you could even close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then start to make your way back to center and switch sides. There's no rush. Take your time. If there's any movement in between or along the journey to the other side, feel free to take it. Listen to what your body needs intuitively. And take 3 more breaths here. On your own, count down 3 more deep breaths. And when you finish your 3rd exhale, you will slowly come back to center. Reset yourself in the middle of your mat and bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. And send your feet to the wide corners of your mat. I'm going to take a 3-minute savasana here. Turn your palms face up by your sides. Legs are straight. And just let the practice marinate. Find stillness, be effortless. Nothing left to do. Nowhere left to go. Enjoy a few more moments here of complete stillness and total rest. And slowly begin to deepen your breath, please. Allow your breath to inspire some movement back into your body. And just like you were waking up all over again today, go ahead and stretch and move in any way that feels really good for you. And then bring your knees into your chest when you're ready. Give yourself a hug. And you'll find your way up to a comfortable seat. You can rock and roll up to a comfortable seat. You can roll over to a fetal position and press yourself up. And take a second to land in a somewhat meditative seat, whether it's cross-legged or on your shins. And find a moment of stillness here. Hands can be on your thighs, face down, or face up. We'll seal the practice by bringing hands together at heart center. And take one last breath. Inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh. Thank you so much for choosing to practice today. Namaste. A quick couple of announcements before you leave. Stay connected, please. You can tap the follow button and the bell so that you get notified when new classes and episodes get added. There will be content to support your daily practice uploaded every Thursday, so make sure to tune in. If you know someone who might enjoy it, please feel free to share with your family and your friends to help this channel grow. Your support is super valuable and much appreciated. And if you have any feedback, leave a comment or tag me on Instagram to let me know how you felt after class. Any requests or feedback can be left in the comments as well, or through a DM on Instagram or through the contact page on my website, joffreyyoga.com or joffreyyoga on Instagram. If you want to practice this class on your own, you can totally customize it to fit your need. You could do each of these poses for 30 seconds a piece and shorten the time. If you have more time on your hands, you can do up to 3 to 4 minutes in each of these poses and give yourself a really sweet yin yoga practice on your own at home. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. Peace and love.